Good morning, students. Welcome to the online classes of Triveni Memorial Senior Secondary School. Today, we are going to continue our third unit of the English Reader book for class 8. The third unit, section 3, the name is A Journey Through Desert. Okay, the name of the unit was Literacy. So let's find out what is there in the chapter and why we are reading this one. Okay. Till a few years back, I did not have a driver and used to drive everywhere myself. The author directly starts the story and tells about, we don't know whether it is himself or herself, but looking at the picture we get to know that the poet is female. So the poet describes herself. Okay. Few years back she didn't had any driver and she drove everywhere herself. Okay. The petrol pump where I filled petrol from had a service station beside it. Some Saturdays I would take my car to that service station and stay there until it was serviced. There were two boys, perhaps 14 years of age, who worked there. They were identical twins. Now, let us describe them. What she tells us about that there was a petrol pump where she used to get her car filled with petrol. Okay, and beside that, that is just near that, there was a service station where she used to get her car serviced or repaired if anything happened. Okay, but it was not often, it was sometimes when the problem arose. And there were two boys working at the service station and they were the identical twins. That means they both were the brothers and they were twins. One was called Ram and the other one was Gopal. They were very poor and did not go to school. Okay, yet they could speak many languages. They could not go to school, but still they knew a lot of languages. Though Bangalore, now it is known as Bengaluru, okay, is the capital of Karnataka. Karnataka is the South Indian state, just below Maharashtra. Kannada is not the only language spoken here. There are many people who have come from outside the state and have settled in this beautiful city. Hence, Bangalore has become very cosmopolitan. Okay. So in Bangalore, as we all know, Bangalore is also the IT sector for India, and there are big IT companies there. So a lot of Indians from all around the states go there and settle down there. So if you like you are living in Haryana and if you start living in Bangalore, that means you will slowly you will get to learn the language used there, that is Kannada, and you also know the Hindi here. Okay, so that means there were a lot of persons that settled from all over the country, and that is why Bangalore became cosmopolitan. Cosmopolitan means where a lot of where different kinds of culture come together. Cultures, whether it is language or traditions, that is for cosmopolitan. These boys had met many people during their work at the station and so could speak Kannada, which was their mother tongue, and also Tamil, Telugu and Hindi. So while the two boys, that is the twin brothers, were working over there, they met a lot of persons there. A lot of people there from different areas. Okay, so they got to know Kannada was their mother tongue there. Okay, in Bangalore, Kannada is their state language. Now, along with Kannada, they could also speak Tamil, Telugu, and Hindi. Okay, Ram and Gopal worked as errand boys. They were always very cheerful, and everyone liked them. Ram and Gopal always worked errand means here joyfully. Okay. So they were very cheerful and everyone liked them. The servicing of my car used to take about 2 hours. The boys would bring a chair for me and I would sit under the shade of a tree and read some books. Now the boy used to, actually the service took around 2 hours. Generally it takes 1.5 hours to 2 hours if you have seen that. So the boys would bring a chair for the author and the author would sit under the shade of a tree. Okay, and read some books. Over a period of time, the author became friendly with the boys and they told her that about their life. The twins did not have a father. Their mother worked as laborer. They stayed in a nearby slum with their uncle. Okay. They had studied up to class 4 but then had to drop out as they were too poor. Okay. They had to leave the studies because they wanted to earn money to meet the both the ends. Okay. There was nobody who could guide and teach them at home. Okay. They had only their mother, and she was also a laborer. Though the salary at the service station was not much, they got free breakfast and lunch and sometimes small tips from the customers, okay, from the car owners. They had no fixed working hours. They would arrive earlier at 8 a.m. and would leave only after 8 p.m. Okay. Sundays were the only holidays they got. Now, in spite of all the difficulties they faced, these kids were also smiling. Were always smiling. They never said no or grumbled about any work they were told to do. That means they did all their work very joyfully. Okay. I have seen children in many well-off families with grumpy faces and no happiness. If you ask them to do any work, they give hundreds of reasons to avoid it. I suppose happiness does not depend on the amount of money in the bank. Now what the author says that both the boys, that is the brothers, the twins, they always did all the work that was asked to do. Okay, they followed every order given to them, and that too with joy. Okay, they were very joyful while doing their work. The author says, I have seen a lot of children in the rich families that don't like to work for anything. Okay, if you ask to do any work, they give you thousands of reasons not to do that work. Okay, and students, we may have thousands of excuses for not doing one thing, but only one reason may lead us to do anything. Okay, we need only one reason to do the thing. So I would like to tell you, between the chapter, focus on your goal and just remember the reason why you chose that goal. Okay, once you remember that thing, that why you chose that aim, and go through the path, nobody will be stopping you. Okay, nothing can stop you. Now, I used to really like these two boys for their enthusiasm. Once in a while, I took snacks and some old shirts for them. They took the clothes with great joy, as if they were made of silk. But I never saw them wear the clothes. Now the author tells that she started liking the two boys, the way they work, the way they led their life, in and with enthusiasm. Even though they were very poor, they did not say anything about that, and they did all the work what was told to them. Okay, so sometimes she took snacks and old shirts for them, and both the brothers were very happy to get the shirts, just like they were happy, just like they got the new one or just like the silk shirt they got. But she never saw them that they were wearing those shirts. What did it say? Madam, we always wear dirty clothes here, and because at the station they become greasy. Okay. Once the author took storybooks for them, thinking that they could read them at night. After all, while other children are busy going to school, attending hockey and chess tournaments, the boys were slogging to make both hands meet. That is, so that they could get the earning and they could lead some life. They could get food on the table. They could eat the dinner. They could have the dinner, the breakfast. Okay. But when the author gave them storybooks, the faces of the twins became pale, and for the first time ever, the author saw the happiness on their faces. They said that, ma'am, we are unable to read fastly as we are not used to reading now. Could you please tell us the story? Now the author says, how can I tell you story here when you are working all the time? We get some free time at about 4 o'clock. Okay, they tell the time at 4. Around 4 they are free for some time. And if you come to get your car serviced, then we can sit with you and listen to the story. Their two pairs of eyes were begging me for the stories, and I could not say no. I remembered how my own children always insisted I tell them stories in the night I have to. Now they said that we got time at around 4 o'clock, and if you could get your car for service at that time, we could easily sit and listen to the stories that you narrate us. And then author says that I thought that the boys were just like begging, and she remembered how her children wanted her to narrate the story at the night. So she couldn't deny that. So it became a routine for the author to tell the stories on Saturday evenings. Author went there even if the car did not need to be serviced. They were very attentive when the author told the stories and waited eagerly for more. This went on for many months. Then the author decided to get a driver and stop driving herself. The driver took the car for servicing, and after that, the author did not meet Ram and Gopal. Time flows like water, we all know. Time is precious and it flows and we can't catch time, okay? So we should not waste the time. Time flows like water. After almost a decade, one day the driver was complaining about some problem the car was giving him. The author said, okay, get it repaired. My old car had outlived, that is, author's old car had outlived its life but was still working. Outlived means she worked more than expected. Okay, she was working very well, more than anybody could expect, and still it was working. When the driver came back from the garage, he said, after looking at the car, car mechanic asked about you. Okay, do you know the owner of the Good Luck Garage? Now the driver tells her about what happened in the garage. The car mechanic asked about the author, and he says, do you know Good Luck Garage? Now the author says, I haven't heard this name. What happened? Is it a new garage? It is relatively new. Relatively new is, yes, you can say that it is new, but not much older. Okay. I always prefer to go to garages owned by youngsters. This young man is very sincere. It seems he has known you for a long time. He asked if you are still teaching in the college. Now, the driver says that the driver is used to take the car to the youngster's garage. Okay, and he says that it may be that car mechanic knows you from a long time. As he asked me that is she still teaching in the college. I could not think of anyone I knew who could be owning a garage now. Since my driver did not even know his name, I was unable to place him and assumed it was some old student of mine. Now the author didn't remember about that any of student of her owning a car garage. So even the driver did not knew his name. So she was unable to place and assume it may be her old student. Okay. Though since she taught computer science, she could not figure out how this person had shifted to automobile engineering. When the driver told her the second time that the owner of the garage had asked about her, she felt she could go and meet the man who is so concerned about her, that is, who is asking her again and again. Next day, she went to the Good Luck Garage. It was a fairly modern garage and well equipped. There was a glass cabin where she assumed the owner was sitting. As soon as she entered, a handsome young man in a blue overall greeted me. That is, blue overall means here, the handsome young man was wearing a blue dress. Okay. He was holding a spanner and a screwdriver in his hand. Spanner and screwdriver, these both are the tools that are used to repair the vehicles. Madam, please come and sit down in the cabin. I will wash my hands and come in a minute. Now the young man says, please have a seat. I'll be back in a minute. I sat on the sofa in his office. It was a nice functional office. The young man looked vaguely familiar to me. I knew I had met him somewhere but could not place where. I wondered, did I teach this boy in pre-university? That time, boys are 16 or 17 years old, adolescents with a lot of energy. When I meet them after they have grown up, I often fail to recognize them. She started thinking about the boy. She thought that yes, she had met him somewhere. She started thinking maybe she had taught him pre-university, that is in the school days. As they were at that age, the students are around 16 to 17, and after so many years, when they meet her, she is unable to recognize them. They look so different and mature. By that time, the man had returned with a coffee mug and a glass of water. He had also changed into a blue coat and trousers. By the time the blue coat guy returned, the blue clothes wearing boy returned, he had a coffee mug with him and a glass of water. And he also changed the blue coat and trousers. Okay. Madam, have you changed a lot? You look too old and tired. Now, the blue cloth man, that is the young boy, asked the woman that, you look old and tired. Are you all okay? I'm sorry, I'm unable to recollect your name. You should excuse me and tell me your name. As you said, I'm growing old. Now, what the author says that I'm sorry, as you told that I am very old, I'm unable to recognize you. Could you please tell me the name? He smiled at me. There was a dimple on his cheek. Then I knew who he was. He was one of those boys who used to work in the garage a decade back. Was he Ram or Gopal? Even in those days, I used to get confused. I asked him, "Are you Ram or Gopal?" Now the boy started smiling and he got dimples on the cheek. And with that smile, she recognized that this was one of the twins that were working in the garage several years ago. Now she reminded herself and she asked him, "Are you Ram or Gopal?" Because both were very similar as they were twins. Again she asked, "Are you Ram or Gopal?" The same question. "I'm Ram, madam. Please sit down. I'm very happy to see you like this." Now I could understand why Ram had inquired about me after recognizing the car. Now he says, "Ma'am, I am Ram. Okay, please sit down. I'm very happy to see." The young man was very happy to see the author. Okay, now she understood why Ram had inquired about her after recognizing the same old car. "Madam, I'm very grateful to you for your help in those days." Now he says, "I'm very grateful, I'm very thankful to you for helping me in those earlier days." "What help did I give?" "I used to give some old shirts and eatables and told some stories." Now the author says, I didn't help you anything. I just gave you some food to eat, some clothes to wear, and some stories that I told you. Now, "Madam, do you know how your stories changed my life? Do you remember the stories you told us?" Now the young boy says, "Do you know you told us the stories and do you know how they changed us?" "I didn't. From the ocean of stories in my head, I had told them a few." Now she says, "I don't remember," because she had a lot of stories and a few were only narrative. "No, I don't remember," she denies. He sat down opposite me, closed his eyes and started telling his own story. Now the young man tells her about the story. "Madam, our life was very difficult. You were aware of it. The only thing we looked forward to was your visit every Saturday. When we listened to your stories, we used to stay with our uncle and whatever we earned, he would take. The stories you told us were only our escape from the drudgery of our lives. Our working hours were long. I felt I should go to school and continue my studies, but the night schools were all quite far from where we stayed. With no financial help or support from home, it seemed studying would always remain a dream. Till we heard one of your stories, it made a big difference in our lives." Now here the young man tells about his life, that the life of both the brothers was miserable, and whatever they earned was taken by the uncle. And they only dreamt of studying because night schools were very far away and nobody was going to pay for the school fees, nobody was going to take care, and they had to work for long hours. So he says, "One day, one of your stories changed my life." Now the author was keen to know what happened next. "Tell me which story that was," and the roles had got reversed. Now the author was listener and the young man was the storyteller. And few years ago, it was author, the storyteller, the boy was the listener. Now it is reverse. Now the boy is the storyteller and the author is the listener. Once in a village, there were many poor people. They all wanted to cross a desert to go to the next village where life was better and the future more promising. Now it says, once there was a village where there were many poor people. They all wanted to cross a desert and move to the next town where life was better and future was more promising, more brighter. Many boys wanted to go. Elders in the village had said to them, "If you want to do something, you need to cross the desert and reach there. You pick up stones from the desert and carry that to the town. Some boys will pay you money for those rare stones." Okay. Now this is the story that is going on, that when you cross the desert, pick up the stones from the desert. They are the rare ones, and the people living on the other side of the desert will pay you in higher amount. One morning, two boys started their journey. They carried food and water with them. In the beginning, the sand was fine. It was not hot. The sun was not on their head. sand was cold, so they were easily going on. Their journey was great. They did not feel tired and stubborn. They did not stop. They were very happy as there was no hot day in the early morning. After some time, sun rose over and the sand started getting hot. After walking for a long time, they thought that they must have reached the half time and they drank the water, they ate their food. But soon they realized they had walked only halfway. Okay. Now, they also started collecting stones to sell in the town. After some time, their bags were full of stones and became very heavy. Now they started collecting the stones in their way and their bags also became heavy. One boy felt it was too much to carry, so he threw the stones and decided to go back. The other boy said, "Let us listen to our elders, let's move on, come what may, we should reach the next town very soon." First boy did not listen and went back. The second boy continued to walk towards the town. Okay, it was difficult journey collecting the stones and traveling all alone. With no water to drink, sometimes he felt his friend was right and he should also have gone back. There was no guarantee what was there in the town after crossing the desert. It was better to stop and go back to the village. But faith and hope kept him going. He had only one aim, that he wanted to cross the desert, reach the town for a better future. After walking for a long time, he reached the town. Much of his disappointment, he saw it was like any other town. There was a dharmshala nearby. It was getting dark and he was tired, so he decided to spend the night there. Next morning when he got up, he opened his bag and the stones that he took from the desert, they turned into diamonds. In a minute, he became the millionaire. Okay. Do you remember, madam? You also told us the meaning of the story. A student's life is like desert. Examinations are the hot sun and difficulties are like the warm sand and studies like hunger and thirst. Hunger and thirst. As a student, you have to travel all along collecting knowledge and skill the way the boy in the story collected stones. Okay. In your life also, students, you need to collect the knowledge and skills wherever it is possible. The more you collect, the better is the life you lead after. Okay, you lead later. Okay, the more you get the knowledge, the more you gain the knowledge, the more you gain the skills, you learn the skills, you will lead a better life. After hearing the story, the boy decided to study in spite of all the odds and he had to face. Okay, with a lot of determination and after facing many difficulties, he managed to finish school. The service station owner was helpful. When he got good marks, the service station owner helped him in paying the fees for an automobile diploma. Now, I continued to work while I learned. Now the boy worked and learned also. Later, he took a loan from the bank and started this work. Now, by the grace of God, he is successful and had repaid his own loan. Now he is a free person. Madam, rich people are usually scared to start a new venture. They feel if the venture fails, they will lose their money. I never had anything to lose. Now he says rich people are afraid of losing the money if they start new work. They are unable to take such risk. Okay, but he says that I had nothing to lose, so I took the risk. Now I had learned this from my own experience too. What is Gopal now? Ramlu said. Now the author says that okay, fine, you are a successful garage owner. Where is Gopal, the other brother? Now Ram looked sad. The author asked what happened. Gopal's state can also be explained by another story. He told us it seems there was a jackal in the desert. Now he says the same applies on him but in a different state. And that too applies on the story that you told us. There was a jackal in the desert. One morning he walked out and faced sun. He saw his shadow was larger than him because sun was reflecting the rays on him. Jackal was so huge that he decided he would hunt a camel for his afternoon meal. Okay, he spent the whole day searching for camel and did not pay attention to the smaller animals he could have caught. Okay, he did not find one till evening. By then his shadow was even smaller than him, so he started hunting for a mouse. Gopal was the same. Gopal always tried to do things beyond his capacity. Okay, and failed miserably. He doesn't even want to work with me. That is, Gopal was not ready to work with his brother though. Now he is a helper in an office. Gopal is a helper in an office. He dreamt much bigger but didn't think of the smaller steps. Okay, we all know that journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. But Gopal did not listen to his brother. Okay, I was dumbstruck to hear how small story I had told brought about so much of change I had never imagined while telling them that such a thing was possible. Now the author was shocked that a simple story changed someone's life. I'm not even the original writer of the story. She says I'm not the writer of the story though. And even the writer would not have thought about writing such a beautiful story with the deep meaning that it could change somebody's life. Okay, so student, that was the reading portion of the chapter. Let us move on to the question answers now. First part, read and answer. Where did the author meet Ram and Gopal? What attracted her to these two boys? The author met Ram and Gopal, this one's missing. Ram and Gopal in a service station near the petrol pump. The boys were the identical twins that they could speak a lot of languages. Describe Ram and Gopal in your own words. Ram and Gopal were the two youngsters aged around 14 years. They knew a lot of languages and worked with joy. They lost their father at very early age and had to work to meet both ends. But still, they always wanted to study. Ram in particular learned a lot with the stories told by the author and became a successful automobile engineer. But Gopal did not learn anything like that. Why did the author tell Ram and Gopal stories? The author gave the storybooks to Ram and Gopal, but they denied to read the stories as they were not able to read them faster as they did not have enough time to do so. So the boys asked the author to tell them the story at around 4 o'clock. Why did the first boy in the story not complete the journey? The first boy found it difficult to cope with the problems he faced to cross the deserts with stones filled in the bag. He thought that it wouldn't be a great idea to move on to reach the other town. Second part, that is think and answer. Whose life changed due to a story? How did the story change his life? Do you think the story can bring a change in someone's life? Ram's life changed due to the story told by the author as we read in the chapter. Ram started studying again and scored good marks. He also became an automobile engineer and owned a service station. Yes, definitely a story can bring a change in somebody's life as the stories are full of morals, and if the reader can understand the deeper meaning inside, the story will definitely change the reader's life. Tell me which story was that? Who said these words? The author said these words. Why could the speaker not remember the name of story? Because the speaker narrated a lot of stories to the boy. Which one should be stories? This is misspelled. There should be S here, okay? A lot of stories to the boy and could not find out which stories moral helped the boy. When did the speaker say these words? When Ram told the author on how a story narrated by her changed his life. Okay? Third one. What did you learn from the two stories narrated in the lesson? Which one do you find better and why? Both the stories were better in every aspect. Here both the stories were better in every aspect. One told us about how can we succeed if we face difficulties with courage and do not let our fear overcome us. The other story told us that aiming for higher should not distract you from the smaller ones. They could easily be achieved. That could easily be achieved. We should do everything step by step as a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Reference to context. Are you Ram or Gopal? Who said this to and to whom? The author said this to Ram. Why was the speaker confused? Because Ram and Gopal were the twins and looked same in most aspects. When did the speaker say this? When the speaker met Ram after a lot of years were passed. What happens next? Ram introduces himself and tells about the whole story as what happened after the author narrated them the story every week. So students, that's it from the chapter. Before leaving the video, I would like to say that like the video, subscribe the channel for our next videos. Till then, take care. Have a nice day. Thank you.